Good morning, guys. My name is Ari and welcome to my channel. I am actually at my local Aldi right now and I'm about to go in and we are going to do a grocery budget challenge. My goal is to do about 4 different meals. I think I'm going to do 2 dinners, 1 lunch, 1 breakfast. This is more than enough for one person for 1 week. If you have a little bit more than one person, maybe you have a family of 4, it's going to last you a little bit less, but you can go ahead and grab more ingredients. All this stuff is going to be nutrient dense as possible for the money that I'm going to be spending. I'm going to try to keep it super low. The reason why I'm inspired to do this is because of the whole SNAP shutdown thing. People are getting like half their benefits or not anything at all. So I wanted to make a video, see if we can help somebody. Even if you're not on SNAP, this is really good. If you are stuck on a smaller budget, this will be a great video for you. I'm thinking of doing along the lines of like a red beans and rice situation, shepherd's pie, maybe some soup. Perfect recipes for the season that we're in, fall heading into winter. So let's see what we get. Let's see how much it costs, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.
First thing I wanted to grab, guys, was the green peppers for the red beans and rice. Thought that would be a great addition. Next thing I got was the potatoes at $3.25 for a 10-pound bag. That is a steal for where I live. I thought that was a great price. $1.65 for the onions, not bad. The cheese, again, there was like 20 cents off, so a little bit better than normal. The beef was more expensive than I liked. I usually like to get it for $5. Chicken drumsticks, those ended up being a great deal, and I almost dropped the package. It was $5 for the whole thing. They claimed the butter was on sale, but I've seen it way cheaper than that. I don't like how now the sale prices are like the normal prices from before. Comment below if you agree, because I've noticed that many times. Again, the beans, I've seen those for under 50 cents before. Not too impressed with the price, but it's still cheap. Tomato paste, gotta have it. Kielbasa wasn't that bad of a deal. Rice, pretty good deal. That is kind of a small bag, but it will definitely last us a long time. And the frozen veggies, you could have picked whatever you wanted. They have mixed vegetables, corn, sweet peas, anything you want that fits into soup, and shepherd's pie works perfect. And we were all done.
All right, guys, we just got out of Aldi's. It was about $36. I think that's a pretty solid haul for all the stuff that we got today. Got a huge bag of potatoes. You guys will see the rest. We'll see what kind of recipes that we can make with this and how many meals we can make with it. The only thing I didn't buy was extra spices. I did buy the oil butter that you're going to be using. So if you have extra like Dollar Tree spices or whatever you got, the ones from Walmart, those work perfect. That's the only thing I didn't include. So I'll see you guys in the kitchen. Okay, guys, we are home, and the first meal I'm actually gonna make is the shepherd's pie. So let me show you guys what I got for that. Okay, so what we're gonna do for that is, first thing I like to do is get the mashed potatoes ready. Basically, for shepherd's pie, all you're gonna do is make mashed potatoes the way that you like to make it. So today we're going to use the potatoes. I'm gonna use a good amount. I'll show you guys how much I cut up. We're gonna boil that until they're tender, in this pan. After that, we will add some salt. This is the only thing I didn't buy in the haul, but I'm assuming that you have salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some milk to this, add some butter. After that, we will start browning the meat, but let's get the potatoes done first, guys. So like I said, guys, I'm gonna peel these up. I'm sure you guys know how to peel potatoes, and then I'm just gonna chop them up into probably like an inch size cube. Just so you guys can get a size perspective, this is the container that we're gonna make the shepherd's pie in. So this is gonna be a lot of leftovers. If you're a single person and you follow this meal plan, you're gonna have a ton of food way over a week, and you can also freeze these leftovers. For a family of 4, this whole meal plan might last you a week. So this is a pretty good deal for $35, I would say. Hey guys, I have the potatoes in this pot. It's really filled, so I'm pretty sure that'll be okay. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it to make sure that they're tender. Over here, I had some extra carrots in my fridge that I really need to use, so I'm just gonna throw those in when we start cooking down the onions. So if you have carrots, go ahead and add them if you like that. If you don't, feel free to buy it. They're like $1 at the store. It would just add $1 onto your budget for the week. Got this onion, so I'm gonna chop up these carrots, chop up the onion, and then we're gonna start sauteing it, and then we're gonna cook the meat with it. Okay, I got the onions and the carrot cut up really good, like that. My eyes are watering, as is pretty common when you cut onions, so I'm gonna start sauteing these in the pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of the butter that we bought, and we're just gonna cook those down until they get translucent. Okay, I got this on saute right now on the highest heat. It's not quite heated up yet, but I'm gonna add some salt, a good amount of salt. because we're gonna add the beef, which is a pound. So definitely add salt. We're gonna add some fresh cracked black pepper. We're gonna preheat our oven. It's 350, well 351 now, but we're gonna preheat it to 350. That way we can bake everything together at the end. I'll show you guys how I assemble it as well. But let's get this done first. Hey guys, this is cooking down pretty nicely. Hope you guys can see that through the steam. I am gonna add the pound of ground beef to this. We are just going to chop it up and brown it. Then we'll add our tomato paste and some water. You can also add the frozen corn. Personally, I am not gonna add the frozen corn inside because I have someone in my family who doesn't really like that, so I'm gonna do it on the side. But you could just add the corn right to this, or if you bought a different frozen vegetable, go ahead and add it right to this meat mixture. All right, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste. And after that, we're gonna add about ½ cup of water to this. This basically makes tomato sauce. And we're gonna save the rest of this for the red beans and rice. So we're gonna mix this up together, cook it down a little bit, and then we're gonna put it to the side while we drain the potatoes and mash them. And we'll add some butter and some milk to those. Okay guys, so I drained the potatoes. I added about a ½ stick of butter. My trick is to put them in a mixer to get them super smooth. But if you want to use a potato masher, you can go ahead and do that too. I also added a good amount of salt. It looks like a lot, but you need a lot of salt for this many potatoes. I also dip a salt in here, and it looks like a lot, but it doesn't taste super salty too. So I'm hoping this will balance it out together and it'll taste perfect. The secret to good cooking is the perfect amount of salt and fat. You can do whatever container you want to bake in. You can use metal, glass, whatever you have on hand. So we're gonna whip this up, add a little bit of milk to make the perfect consistency, and then I'm gonna top it on the meat mixture. Okay guys, this is at the perfect consistency in my mind. Do it however you guys like it, but this is how we like it. I tested it for salt. It tastes absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and top this, and then we're going to grate some cheese on top because it wouldn't be shepherd's pie without some cheese. So just want to smooth it out to make it look as pretty as possible. And like I said, you can refrigerate and freeze the leftovers if it's just a single person. Or if you want to make a batch cooking of these in the future, you can freeze them. They freeze really well. Okay guys, so I used about half of this block of cheese and shredded it up. The other half's going to be for the egg and cheese frittata that we're going to make for our breakfast meal. And I'm definitely going to go on a limb and say this is at least 8 servings, guys. So this is going to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how your oven is. So yeah, I'm definitely going to say it's about 8 servings, 8 meals for that one meal. That's a dinner. So I think that's a really great nutrient-dense dinner, especially for the price, because you got potatoes. I know that has nutrients and minerals in it. The butter is good for you. Grass-fed beef is amazing for you. And depending on what veggies you use, that's also really good. So I think we're going pretty good so far. So I will see you guys at the end. I'll show you what it looks like. And then tomorrow morning, we're gonna make the egg and cheese frittata, which is also really good for you. All right, guys, and this is the finished product. It looks delicious. If you did wanna turn on the broiler, you could. I just don't like to do that with a glass pan. I get freaked out about it. But this is it, it's done. We're gonna go enjoy this, and I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, it's the next day of our extreme budget challenge, and today we're gonna make an egg and cheese frittata for breakfast. Now we have enough ingredients to make this 2 times. So I'm gonna say each frittata is about 4 to 6 servings, depending on how much you eat. I'll go on the safe side and say 4. So we're gonna get 8 servings or 8 meals over the course of the week or however long you are doing this challenge for. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven to 350. You're gonna get out of the pan. You can use a cast iron, you can use a glass baking dish, it doesn't matter. Just make sure it's about this size, and we're gonna butter it with our butter. Then we're gonna mix up the eggs and the milk and the seasonings and the cheese. So for the butter, I just like to smear it around the pan. This is already seasoned pretty well, but I'm gonna need to melt it a little bit, so I'm gonna actually place it in the oven while it preheats, just to melt the butter a little bit to make sure it's super coated, that way the eggs do not stick. First thing we're gonna add into our metal bowl, or whatever bowl you have, is 6 eggs, and we're gonna do a cup of milk. So I'm gonna pour this in, I'm gonna crack the eggs, and then we'll add the seasonings. Have you guys mastered the 1 egg cracking thing yet? I recently have. It took me a while. So do not feel bad if you don't know how to do it yet. Okay, so we're gonna whisk this up really good. We're also gonna add a good amount of sea salt because eggs can handle a lot of salt. However much you guys wanna add. Some fresh cracked black pepper if you have it. Any other spices that you want, that you might have. And I love the reminder of scripture whenever I buy eggs from Aldi's. This is the day which the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I just love that. Okay, you want this to be like a custard-like consistency. Once you get it really mixed together, we're gonna shred half that block of cheese that we have. That way we can save the other half for the next frittata. Okay, the cheese is all in. Now we're going to dump this in the pan with the melted butter. And this is gonna be in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how hot your oven gets. All right, guys, this is the finished product. I'm gonna cut it up and show you what it looks like in a second. Later, we are actually gonna make the chicken soup recipe as well, so stick around. And this is 2 slices of the frittata. We're gonna go enjoy this right now.
Hey guys, it is now time for our 3rd meal in this extreme budget challenge, and we are going to be making homemade chicken soup.
Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna chop up the rest of the onion that we used yesterday. If you wanna add more onion to this recipe, go right ahead because we bought quite a few. We're also going to add the chicken drumsticks to a stock pot with water.
There is 9 drumsticks in this package, so it's completely up to you if you wanna do one huge batch of soup right now and use all the drumsticks, or if you wanna do like half now and half another part of the week. That's also completely up to you. I'm gonna say that each serving of soup, if you did half and half, is probably about 4 servings, maybe even more depending on how many veggies you add, because you could also chop up some of the potatoes, add those in. If you bought different frozen vegetables yesterday, add those in. We're gonna be adding rice to ours, so there's a lot of different possibilities. You can make it really bulky or not. It's completely up to you. So I'm gonna say for each soup that we make, if you made 2 different batches, if that makes sense, it's 4 servings. So I'm gonna count this as an 8 serving, 8 meal thing, but you could stretch it out even farther. But I'm just saying that just to be on the conservative
side. To start
side.
our soup, I'm gonna put in 5 of these drumsticks. And the really cool thing about this soup is that we're basically making homemade bone broth. So this is really nutrient dense and it's super healthy for your gut. It will actually heal your gut lining. So that's also a really good thing you can do if you have bone in meat. You can make your own broth. So basically, I'm gonna fill this up with water and we'll add our onions and then we'll start boiling this. Okay, I got the water in the pot with the chicken and the onions. We're gonna add a lot of salt because this is a soup and obviously water needs salt to be salty to make a salty broth. So you're gonna have to add a lot. You might even have to add more at the end as well. For some fat, I'm going to add a few tablespoons of butter just to melt that in. If you also have apple cider vinegar, you can add that now. Apple cider vinegar will help draw out the nutrients from the bones. It's a slightly acidic solution, so that really helps break down the bones and make a more gelatinized and nutrient-dense bone broth. I forgot to mention, guys, if you have extra spices in your spice cabinet, go ahead and add those now. And we're gonna boil this for about an hour. So once it reaches a rolling boil, you're gonna go ahead and reduce it a little bit and then, and then just let it boil for about an hour. All right, guys, this is what it should be looking like. You can turn it down a little bit, put your lid on. And like I said, keep this going for an hour. That way the chicken is fully cooked through and the broth is made. You could even have it go even longer for more added health benefits, but we're probably gonna cut it short for today. Okay, guys, it's been about an hour. And this is pretty much done. Like I said, you could keep it going longer. You're gonna wanna add a half cup of rinsed rice to it and whatever else you wanna add. You could add the potatoes chopped up. You could add more frozen veggies depending on whatever you bought yesterday. So you can really customize it to however you want. I'm probably just gonna do the rice and then I might add some frozen corn maybe. I'm not sure yet. But let this cook for probably about another 20 to 30 minutes depending on what you added to it. All right, guys, I did add the corn to it. So this is just the corn and the rice and the broth mixture. Over here, I took out the chicken legs. What I personally like to do is take off the skin and shred the meat off the chicken bone. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. But shred the meat off the chicken bone, put the meat itself back into the soup, and serve it like that. You could leave the bone in, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna shred this meat and serve it and show you the final product. And here is the chicken and rice soup, guys. I guess some people might say, oh, it doesn't look the prettiest, but I think it tastes amazing. And you could also add, you know, like I said, the potatoes, more vegetables that would give it some color, and it would look truly amazing. But let me tell you, it tastes delicious. Sorry it's in this metal bowl. I gave my kids the fancy bowl, so we're sticking with this one. So enjoy this, guys. We're gonna go enjoy it, and I'll be seeing you guys next for the red beans and rice.
Hey guys, we're back with our last extreme budget meal, and I'm so excited to show you this one. It's gonna be delicious. We're gonna be making red beans and rice. Now guys, I am not from Louisiana. This is going to be a take, I should say, on red beans and rice. We don't have all the traditional ingredients that you normally would have, so we're gonna work with what we have. We're gonna make it the best that we can, and I'm sure it's still gonna taste absolutely delicious.
So what you're gonna wanna get out is some butter that we have from our sticks of butter. You're gonna wanna get out your kidney beans, the rest of your tomato paste, a bell pepper, an onion. You can grab more than one bell pepper. We do have 3. Like I said, you could have added some to your soup yesterday as well, but I'm just gonna do 1 for today. We're gonna grab our rice because we're gonna make rice separately. And first, what you're gonna wanna do is get out a nice big pan, whatever type of pan you have, cast iron, stainless steel, whatever, I have no idea, ceramic. And you're gonna grab some butter and you're gonna go ahead and put it in your pan. And then after you do that, you're gonna go ahead and chop up your green pepper, and you're gonna chop up your onion finely. And what I'm gonna do with my pepper is I'm actually gonna throw it into my blender. You're gonna ask me why.
And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because I have somebody in my family who does not like chunks of pepper in their food, but I still want the flavor, so we're gonna basically pulverize the heck out of this. The onion is totally fine, so whatever you guys need to do to make it customized for your family, go ahead and do that. This is what I'm gonna do.
Onions all chopped up. I got this heating up, and I got my puree. Like I said, if you weren't doing the puree, just go ahead and chop it up like your onion. I'm gonna dump this in, dump my onions in, and then I'm gonna saute this a bit so they get nice and cooked down. And I'll catch you guys in a minute. All right, guys, I'm cooking this down. Don't forget to leave your cutting board out because we're gonna chop up the kielbasa in a minute. That's gonna be like our andouille sausage type thing. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and add our spices now. We're gonna add our salt, and I do have a few other spices in here that you could add if you have them in your pantry. Some thyme would be good, a bay leaf, and maybe a little tiny bit of cumin. You could add those if you have it on hand. If not, it'll taste just as good with just salt and pepper. I almost forgot that we gotta add about a tablespoon of tomato paste into this. We're gonna mix that around with the extra spices that we added. And then we're gonna turn down the heat and start chopping up the sausage. I chopped up the sausage like this. You could do it in those little medallion shapes if you wanted to do it, but I'm just gonna do it like this. We're gonna add it in, saute it a bit, and then we're gonna add our beans and some water. Okay guys, this is what it should look like. Now we're gonna dump in our rinsed beans. You could add both cans if you wanted. I'm just gonna do 1 for today. Mix that up, and then we'll dump in some water. Just add as much as you think that you might need. Maybe like a cup of water would probably be good enough. And then we're gonna let this cook down for a while. And while this is cooking down for a while and all the flavors are melding together, we are going to start making our white rice. For our rice, guys, we're just gonna add more butter to the pan. We're gonna get 2 cups of wash and rinse rice. And the reason why I wash it is because it reduces arsenic levels and anything else that's on the rice. It's always a good idea to do that. Oops, I turned it on the wrong way. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so it's definitely better to rinse your rice and wash it. I've been doing that recently. I haven't always done it, but I'm trying to be better. We're gonna go ahead and add 4 cups of water to this. That should be enough for the 2 cups of rice. And we're gonna add a generous amount of salt. Rice can handle a lot of salt, so that should be good. And we're gonna bring this to a boil. And once it reaches a boil, we're gonna cover it and put it on low and let it finish cooking, steam the rice, and it should be good in probably about 20 minutes. Make sure you keep an eye on this, guys. If it looks like it needs more water, add it. I have it on like medium lowish just to keep it cooking while the rice is cooking. That way the flavors can develop even more. Okay guys, once it's been boiling for like a minute, stir it again, and then you're gonna turn it all the way down and go ahead and put a lid on it, even if the lid doesn't fit, and just leave it there. Don't stir it again. Okay guys, the rice is finally done. Looks and tastes amazing. I'm getting some food out ready for my kids. We got the red beans and rice, red beans and rice. The red beans and the sausage over here. So I'm gonna make a plate for myself so you guys can see what the final product looks like. All right guys, here's my plate. It looks so delicious. I cannot wait to dig into this. We still got a ton of food left over. I'm definitely gonna say this makes at least 8 servings, especially with this amount of rice. We also have the 10-pound bag of potatoes that we didn't even use a quarter of. We have so many potatoes left, another can of beans, another bag of rice. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out of your day to watch this grocery challenge. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really hope it helped you guys. If you would like this video, please like and subscribe. Comment down below with what tips and tricks helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.